that intro made me want to snap, clap, and eat a sandwich. Hey guys, welcome to Talking Food with Chef Carlo Quagliore. My name is Isaac Anderson, and this is Chef Carlo.
How you doing, Isaac?
I'm doing all right, man.
You look quite different from Andrew.
Oh, yeah? Well, I think we're wearing the same shirt right now, so who knows? I mean, we look pretty similar if you squint your eyes, hit your head, and like not look at us at all.
It's okay. Well, this is Isaac. He's going to be joining us on the team here at Talking Food. He's one excellent student of the culinary program here at National Community College, and he's also a very talented musician.
Thank you.
And not only that, now he is sporting a new gig here at the TV. So he's like, talk about being all over the productive frame, this man right here. And I'm very glad to have him right here. He's very passionate about food, as every other people that has joined our ranks here at this humble table that we have here. Yeah. But I'm very glad you joined us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Okay, so talking food, we're gonna start exploring the world of
sandwiches.
You have to lay it back so they can see the
yeah,
There you go. Sandwiches. Mr. Isaac.
Yes.
What is a sandwich?
A sandwich is pretty much anything you can slam between two pieces of bread. That's a layman's term.
Oh, okay. I like that word.
It's
like
broader than that, but you're the chef, man. Why don't you let the people at home know what exactly a sandwich
you're
is?
the future chef.
Okay.
But I mean, sandwich is, as Isaac put it in very simple words, anything you can slam between two pieces of bread. Now, there is hot sandwiches, cold sandwiches, many varieties. So we need to start explore this world of sandwiches. There is people that have made fortunes with sandwiches, aka Subway. Eat not so fresh. No. It's okay. We're going to talk about the chains in a moment. But a sandwich is basically as simple as something portable that you can eat here, there, take anywhere. Basic components of a sandwich. You gotta have a base. A base, it starts with the bread. There's many kind of different breads out there. There's French bread, there's Italian bread, there's focaccia bread. But if you have to start with some quality bread. Has to have, you need to understand, the bread, it's the carrier of all the flavors. Not only the carrier of all the flavors, it's going to be the vessel. Can we call it a vessel?
Yeah, we can call it a vessel.
A vessel?
Yeah, a vessel.
A spaceship?
Spaceship? Maybe not a spaceship. It's too, not as broad.
Okay, too broad. Okay, let's call it, let's keep it on Earth.
Yeah, okay.
It's the vessel that is going to basically wrap or hold anything that you put in that bad boy, and you can take it anywhere. You can have it right there. You can have it at a restaurant. You can take it to a picnic. You can take it to the beach. You can take it to a soccer game. For those of you that have kids that go into competitive soccer or at the swim meet, or you can and you can make excellent sandwiches out there. You gotta have your bread. It has to have some sturdiness. It has to have some sturdiness to hold whatever it is you're gonna put inside there. Example: if you use something like very thin white bread. It's very thin slices of white bread. I wouldn't go and add a half a pound of beef on that one because the bread is very thin and very delicate. This is more used for finger sandwiches than anything else. And gotta make sure that the bread goes along with whatever it is you're gonna stuff it with. It will be not logical or practical.
Both, actually, yeah.
Put a half a pound of meat between two little slices of bread. Yeah,
because I mean, when you bite into it, the whole thing just smashes and it's
well,
destroyed.
I mean, we can go also New York deli, like Cat's Deli, or the, my favorite one. You have Cat's Deli, and you have the, oh my God, Carnegie.
Yeah.
Carnegie Deli. I mean, that's a different planet. It's 3 pounds of meat with a little cap of bread on top of it.
It's more of like the concept as far, and then instead of practicality, really. It's more just kind of like, you know.
It's more a show.
Yeah.
But delicious show.
Really, yeah.
It's a delicious show. Now, you have to have a moistening agent or a barrier on your sandwich. Moistening agents lubricates and binds the sandwich. Add moisture to improve flavor and texture, prevents filling from getting the bread soggy. Believe it or not, my favorite spread to put on bread for sandwiches is butter.
Oh, wow.
Why is that?
Because it's delicious.
Yes, that's number one.
It's also very smooth, creamy. It protects the bread from some sogginess that can come into the bread. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Whenever you spread butter on your bread, it creates a moisture barrier, especially if you have if your toppings have a lot of a liquid that is going to drip. Example, tomatoes. Once you slice them, the tomato is going to start dripping their own liquid. Even cold cuts, they're made out of protein, and even if you use roast beef or ham, there's going to be some drippage coming out of the protein. And if you intend to eat the sandwich right away, that's not much of a problem. But if you intend to build a sandwich to be consumed at a later use, you want to protect the bread from sogginess. My favorite way, butter, softened butter. Now, butter is a little bit tricky to use because they have to be at room temperature.
Yeah.
What else can we use to protect bread from sogginess?
Well, my favorite one is mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
It's a good old mayonnaise. Partly because I can't have dairy, but also just yeah. Now butter's delicious.
No,
but yeah.
we don't want that kind of accident happens
Oh.
if you have dairy.
Yeah, but yeah, mayonnaise.
You won't be able to be sitting here next to me right now.
for sure, no. But yeah, mayonnaise is definitely, just it's amazing in pretty much any sandwich. Just like the butter, it makes a moisture barrier for the bread, and also kind of gives a nice, smooth, creamy richness to the sandwich. Gives a nice base of flavor. And also a little tip from I saw a guy that works in a restaurant. If you put mayonnaise on the side of bread and you toast it that side down with the thin layer of mayonnaise, there's eggs in mayonnaise, so the eggs will kind of caramelize and give it a nice crunch. So.
We're going to get there when we talk about hot sandwiches.
Oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself.
The beautiful thing about butter and mayonnaise is you can use them plain as is or flavor them. You can use, let's say you're making a sandwich with fried oysters. Why don't you make a malt vinegar-based mayonnaise? You can just take plain mayonnaise and flavor it with garlic. My favorite.
And you say aioli, you got to keep in mind. It's an
Oh,
aioli.
I'm sorry, it's an aioli or
Aioli.
aglio olio. It's just basically garlic and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And on mayonnaise, and believe it or not, even butter is my favorite barrier for to keep the bread from become soggy. Mayonnaise is my to-go guy because before I wait for the butter to be softened at room temperature, unless you are in a production of sandwiches, you will have your butter outside. But if you're on the last minute thing and you're going to make a sandwich, you're going to have the butter softened, it's going to be hard to get it softened. So mayonnaise is one of my favorite things to go. Actually, my favorite mayonnaise to use is Duke's mayonnaise.
Oh, really?
It has a really nice thickness, and it's, on my taste, it's a little bit salty.
Yeah.
So it already brings a lot of flavor into the patty, because when a lot of people forget that when you build a sandwich, you're going to put tomatoes, lettuce, onions. Are they seasoned?
Nope.
No. That's why up north, when I mean up north, I went to school up in New York, and I was very used to see the sub shops over there dressing your sandwich with a vinaigrette. And at the beginning, it's like, why are they putting vinaigrette on the sandwich? But then you realize, oh, the tomatoes are not seasoned, the lettuce is not seasoned, the onion is not seasoned. And if you have a cold cut that is not very seasoned, like, let's say, roast beef. Roast beef, when they cook it, is salt and pepper, and it's only on the outside. You gotta flavor it. So you have to have a good bread to start with. Gotta have a good mayonnaise. And then your toppings, and there's nothing wrong if you don't want to use dressing. There's nothing wrong with seasoning your veggies before it goes into there. Or get a nice flavor mayonnaise. And not only put it on the bread, there's nothing wrong with putting a squirt bottle and put it between the layers of veggies.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, like the mayonnaise is like definitely the workhorse kind of like sauce for sandwiches. I think you can make pretty much like you said. It's like
It is a sauce.
It's a sauce.
Mayonnaise, it's a sauce.
Yes.
I don't.
It
care
could
what
be
you
technically
say.
put as a mother sauce. I know it's not technically part of it, but you know.
Yeah, Escoffier didn't like it that way.
Yeah.
They didn't. He didn't put it.
Well,
as a
Chef
sauce.
Donald Sexar here does.
Oh, I say mayonnaise, it's a sauce. I'm sorry. You
Oh,
can
it totally
modify it into like 50 different ways. You can make blue cheese dressing, you can make alioli. To me, mayonnaise is a sauce.
Oh, for sure.
A little white trashy, but it's delicious.
That's not white trashy.
I can just dip mayonnaise in toasted bread and go to
I
town.
mean, yeah, that's got that salt, fat, and acid kind of flavor in it. That's the three bases of the flavor. So
Now, sandwiches, where do they come from?
sandwiches, I believe they become from started from the guy named Earl of Sandwich.
But his name was
John
John Montague.
Yeah,
John Montague.
John Montague.
John Montague, back in the Old English era, he also was Lord Sandwich. And not that, oh, his sandwich, let's make him the Lord of the Sandwich. No, that was his noble title from the sandwich area in somewhere in northern England. And he was an avid gambler. So Lord Sandwich had the very bad habit of sitting at the gambling table for hours and hours. And since he was a very avid gambler, didn't have time to sit down at the dinner table, and he started ordering any kind of food that was around between 2 slices of bread. Now, he was the procreator of the sandwich, but we need to take it back in the 1700s, where silverware and plateware was not available. Already back in the medieval times, people would use bread as a plate. They will make round loaves of bread, cut them into slices, make it become stale, and they would put their food on top of the bread.
Yeah.
Not only would serve as a plate, but guess what happens afterwards?
You eat the bread.
You eat the bread.
Oh, yeah.
Or they will just leave the bread there, and the peasants will eat the bread. That's why they also try to go for the upper crust. What's the best side of the bread? That is the one that was eaten at the table. Hence the name upper crust.
Oh.
There's another couple of stories about where
yeah.
the upper crust name came from. But Lord's sandwich, his name is John Montague, is the one that started putting food between 2 pieces of bread. His colleagues, let's call them colleagues, his
Homies.
Homies.
Oh, yeah, who knows? It was a long time ago. Who knows the terminology they used?
The people betting at the table.
Yeah, use BPC.
There you go.
Okay.
So his other buddies betting at the table, they started ordering the same as Lord's sandwich. Give me the same as Lord's sandwich, because they want to start at the betting table. Give me the same as sandwich. Give me the same as sandwich. Ergo, the name sandwich stuck to the 2 pieces of bread that had some kind of stuffing.
Yeah.
Well, the same story goes for sushi.
Oh, yeah. I believe the gamblers wrapped their stuff in like seaweed, and that's how they gambled the stuff, right?
And no, actually, they didn't have time to stand up from the table,
Yeah.
and they just wanted fish and rice, and a way to carry it was seaweed.
Yeah.
So in theory, is sushi a sandwich?
Oh, for sure.
Well, let's call it the Japanese sandwich.
The Japanese sandwich. It's like the taco. I mean, you can put anything in
Oh,
there.
don't get me started with the taco.
Oh, yeah, I know. This man loves some tacos.
Don't get me started with the taco. Is
Yeah.
taco a sandwich?
Technically, yeah. It can be.
Yeah, because it has a bread, stuffing,
Yeah.
moisturizing agents, and flavor.
Yeah.
Well,
work.
see, we're going to get there, but Mexicans have what they call tortas, which is their version of a sandwich, which is made with bolillo bread, and of course the same toppings that they use in the taco are placed into the torta sandwich, which is massively huge. But let's go back to the story of Lord's sandwich. Now, a couple of funny stories, tidbits of information here. James Cook was an captain explorer of the Royal Navy. They were so infatuated with the sandwich that they named some islands the Sandwich Islands.
Ooh.
You know what the name of today's islands are?
What is it?
Hawaii.
Oh.
And we still have the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
And but Mr. James Cook, Captain Cook, he actually named Hawaii the Sandwich Islands in honor of Lord Sandwich.
Yeah.
And then the name was changed to Hawaii.
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 And they also have in the Atlantic Ocean the Montague Island in the Gulf of Alaska. They're still there after Lord John Montague, which was known as Lord Sandwich.
It seemed like this guy was pretty influential in a lot of ways. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
just think about it. I mean, it revolutionized the way that we eat on the go.
Oh, yes.
Look at nowadays, we have empires being built in sandwich chains. The very popular Subway.
Yeah. They eat not so fresh?
I don't know. The bread taste is all the same.
Yeah.
The cold cuts, it's mysterious. All cold cuts at Subway, they all cut the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, they're perfectly the same. I wonder how they make it.
Yeah, make it. It's chemical stuff. Magic wand wave of some preservatives, and I bite in that sandwich and like tastes like minimum wage.
It's scary when you see that the only knife they have at Subway, it's the little Perry knife that they used to open the packages of pre-sliced lettuce.
Yeah.
Now you have to wonder yourself, wait a minute, the lettuce has been pre-sliced. What happens to lettuce when you pre-slice it? You leave it in the fridge uncovered for 1 day, it turns brown.
Oh, yes.
This thing comes from a central processing office and it's still nice and bright green.
Something's not right there. No.
Well, but let's not talk bad about a other business that are making millions of selling sandwiches that taste like cardboard. I mean, that taste like.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
carton, yeah.
No. Okay. Today we're going to talk about cold subs. Now, cold subs. There's many names for cold subs. We have Hoagies, grinders, heroes, Subways, Blimpies. Do you know the difference between them?
I think I do, but why don't you tell all the people? Well, I believe it's just they're pretty much all the same.
They're pretty much all the same. They just took the name of the area that they were developed.
Yeah.
Like, and the sandwiches were mostly became popular by the Italian immigrants in the northeastern United States. And example, a hoagie. A hoagie is just like a sub. Now, Subway stands for Subway. The Subway, it basically is the shape of the bread that looks like a submarine. They also assimilated the name with the Subway cards because they were long and kind of oval at the end. But hoagies, they came from Hog Island, Pennsylvania, where the Italian workers will tell this beautiful Italian bread topped with sesame seeds and put Italian cold cuts in it. In this one you have salami, capicollo, pancetta, Italian sweet peppers, salad, and a dressing. So in the area of Pennsylvania, this kind of sandwiches were named as hoagies. But if you take a hoagie and you look in front of you, it's a sub.
Yeah.
The difference is a hoagie will use more of an Italian bread that is shaped still long and oval, but a little bit more flat, and it's more oval in the center. But it was a hoagie.
Yeah.
Came from Hog Island, Italian immigrants. They needed to go to lunch. They wanted something to have in there. It was easy to pack a lunch, put your meats in the bread, wrap it in, and at that time they didn't have saran wrap or plastic wrap. It was wrapped in wax paper and then taken to work. That is where the word hoagie came from, and it's really like what I call South the Mason did some Mason line.
Yeah.
You will never hear anybody calling a sandwich a hoagie, a grinder, or a hero. So it's a sub, or a sandwich.
Yeah.
Now, sub. Actually, the word sub applies nationwide. It became actually popular by the chain Subway, but the name of the sandwich is a submarine, or later it became the name of Subway because the shape of the bread is long. It's about 16 inches long, oval at the end. It looks like a submarine. And that's where the name came from, the submarine. It's also, the name submarine started in New Jersey, where they used to work in the, what do you call when you work on the boats?
Dock workers?
Dock workers. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Once I haven't had enough coffee.
Oh, it's okay.
The shape of the bread resembled the shape of a submarine, so they started calling submarines. And then also in the New York area, the shape of the bread looked like a Subway cart, and they call it Subway.
Yeah. It's amazing, like the way you just describe all the sandwiches and everything. Like, this doesn't go just for sandwiches. This goes for a lot of things in cooking in general that I've learned here and learned from you especially. Is a lot of these foods that are really popular today and the things that we think are pretty normal in our cuisine mostly came out of something that was just like necessity. It was just the things that they had. It was just the things around that they kind of used, and it became just kind of commonplace.
It's like if I tell you, give me a hero.
Yeah.
What are you going to give me?
You can sub.
No, you should have said, I'm going to give you Superman.
Yeah.
No, a hero is actually, the name hero came from New York and the boroughs. The name was still very uncertain how the name hero started, but a hero is a sandwich, just like a grinder. And it's popular if you go outside the boroughs, probably in Connecticut, upstate New York, a hero is a grinder and it's a sub. But they're
all the same thing, man.
They're all the same thing. It's just how they call it wherever you come from. Like the grinder.
It's basically a sub, isn't it?
It's like if you go to Texas, you say, give me a grinder, they might hand you a power tool.
Oh yeah. Or someone might give you an app or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes, they might give you an app.
Might give you an app.
Might give you an app, but no, we're talking about food. Let's concentrate about food. Grinders The only difference on the grinder is the bread has more of a little bit of a spherical shape,
Yeah.
not elongated, just a spherical shape. And grinders are popular in New Jersey. It's the word grinder. But but submarines, you can go to California. I want a sub. What are they going to give you?
Probably the same thing you'll get in every other place, but you'll probably call it something different, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but a sub is a sub. It's a submarine. It's a long piece of bread. Now, they might give you sandwiches on sandwich bread,
Yeah.
which is the funny thing. A submarine is a sandwich, but when you meet, okay, let me have a ham and cheese sandwich. What do you get?
You get like the white bread like that. You get some ham and cheese on it. Oh yeah.
You get bread.
Yeah.
So if you say a sandwich, immediately people will think something that
Yeah.
comes from a sandwich bread. They don't think about a submarine unless you say a sub.
They almost think of them like two separate entities, but in reality they're the same thing, just a little different.
And then there were blimpies. Blimpies is this chain up in New York started developing the blimpie, and the blimpie, they gave it the shape of the bread of a blimp. Oh, the things that fly in the air and they exploded and killed a lot of people.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity. Probably that's why the chain has not been successful.
Yeah. They really blew up, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And the blimpie and their sub is actually longer than the actual sub. They use a really different formula which makes the bread very light and airy. And they develop their sandwiches on a bread that has the shape of a blimp. So if you say a blimpie, expect yourself a nice light airy bread, and the top is really spread across the place.
Yeah.
Now if you take the same bread, make it a little bit shorter, take it down to Louisiana, what's that called?
What is it called?
Poor boy.
Poor boy. Oh yeah, poor boy. Yeah.
See, a poor boy back in Louisiana is just a nice 16-inch long bread. It's usually, it's not whole wheat, it's not rye, it's just plain white bread. And the toppings for the poor boy is usually mayo, lettuce, tomato, and some kind of fried fish. My favorite poor boy is oyster.
Oh really?
Fried oysters?
Oh, your fried oysters are amazing, man.
You never had a poor boy with fried oysters?
I've never had a one with fried oysters. I had one with fried shrimp before.
Yeah, fried shrimp is...
Fried shrimp is the most common around. Because
Yeah,
that's
it's
probably
the most common. You can find that anywhere, but I like the one with fried oysters.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can go as crazy as putting there. You can have a poor boy made out of fried green tomatoes.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. I've never actually tried that. I never thought about that.
I came up with that idea a while ago. Somebody went, "Oh, I want a vegetarian sub, but I still want to experience the crunch of the poor boy style." No problem. Let's take some green tomatoes, marinate in buttermilk. Standard burning procedure: fry them and put them along mayo, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah.
It still gives the crunch, and the tomatoes are going to be piping hot. It still give you you're never going to compare with fried oysters, but it still give you that experience of the poor boy. You have the crunch, that nice fluffy bread, and of course it has to be wrapped in wax paper, otherwise it's not a poor boy.
Yeah. Oh, of course not. And was that like kind of considered like poor man's food? Is that why it's called a po' boy? Or?
It started back in New Orleans as considered as poor man food, and then now it's just a staple of the culture down there.
That's so cool that people pay a lot of money for those things now, and it used to be like the peasant food, basically.
Well, it's like lobster.
Yeah.
Lobster used to be peasant food. Up in the New England area, only peasant people ate lobsters because there were so many of them in the Bay of the Boston Bay in Cape Cod. They were considered the roaches of the sea.
Yeah.
Then consumption of lobster started increasing. People started taking appeal to the lobster. It became overfish, and now it's control. Now it's $15 a pound.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's amazing. I heard that around that time, the same time, they fed prisoners lobster. Like,
Yes.
and that's just all they gave them. It's like, well, we don't want this dirty stuff that's at the bottom of the sea, the roaches of the sea, basically. So
And they will give it to the inmates.
yeah, and so they were eating really well for years, and it's like, wait a minute, this is delicious.
It's like the sturgeon, caviar.
Yeah.
Along the Hudson Valley and the Hudson River, sturgeon was very popular and abundant. And the bars and the taverns will give you, like, today you get the little trail mitts.
Yeah.
The what's it called, the twisty things, the pretzels and then the chips. You used to get caviar coming from the Hudson River.
Yeah.
But again, it became popular, started being overfished. sturgeon is non-existent now in the Hudson Valley. There's no more caviar.
Yep.
And we diverge from
Sandwiches.
sandwiches to caviar. Let's keep it back in sandwiches.
All right, go ahead, man.
Let's keep it back in sandwiches.
I
So we
like
have
sandwiches.
so basically, on a recap, the hoagie, the hero, the grinder, they're about the same, and it's wherever it comes from in the Northeast region. Again, south of the Mason-Dixon line, subs
Yeah.
or sandwiches. Now, there's a beautiful thing that happens is wherever you go in the United States, the sandwich takes a specific taste, takes a specific swing with different regional flavors and add-ons. But we're going to take you there next week. We're still going to talk about cold sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
Now, so you got to have good flavors in your cold sandwich. If you start your sandwich with cheap bread, cheap cuts, cold cuts, and veggies that were down in the bottom of your walk-in cooler, what's going to happen?
What you put into is what you get out. You're not going to get a very good product.
And I learned that from a long time ago. There's also, I mean, cold sandwiches, the world is the shell. I really love them. They're very versatile. They can also be turned into finger food and finger sandwiches. Not only that, you can use a very thin bread and make open-faced sandwiches, cut them the size of a canapé, which is about inch and a half by inch and a half.
Yep.
And now they become finger food that is actually socially acceptable to be served in a high-end party.
Oh, yes.
There's nothing wrong with taking a piece of canapé, make a nice liver pate, top it with something acidic to counter the greasiness, the richness of the canapé, and now you have a fancy sandwich that we have turned into a small canapé.
Yeah.
And you can take any single sandwich into finger food and make it high-end. What's your favorite sandwich?
My favorite cold sandwich? Or
Yes.
just, my favorite cold, probably the club.
The club.
Yes.
What's in the club?
It varies differently for some places, but typically the way I've always had it is gets lettuce, tomato, mayo, turkey, ham, some cheese, and I believe it's it.
Okay, so what about, and it's usually in 3 layers,
And three
right?
layers, yes.
So what about now if you put it in a nice flat bread, the canapé, and now you put a little slice of turkey and make it nice smoked turkey,
Oh, nice, yeah.
little slice of cheese, instead of using this light tomato, now you use grape tomatoes that you slice.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Now it's presented in a tray.
That actually sounds really nice. Like, and you could, that was actually very acceptable to be served at like a really high-end place, like you said. Yeah.
It's just also about presentation. The sandwiches are, they've been around for a while, and they're going to be around for a long while.
Yes.
Now, a couple of other kind of sandwiches that we need to talk about are cold. Filled roll or bun is the most popular. It's any roll, round roll, or long roll that is filled with any kind of toppings you want. And that is the beautiful thing about sandwiches. There is no rules. There is absolutely no rules of what can you put in a sandwich. Just, I mean, there is experimentation and there is disgustness. But there's always a fine line of experimentation. I'll never forget, years ago, I'm taking a trip to the Keys, the Florida Keys, and there's this restaurant that has been there forever. It's called the Fish House. Fish House, me and my good friend Mitch were driving, or went down to the Keys, enjoying that. We need to stop at the Fish House. They have excellent fish. Look out at the menu, we sit down, and I'm going down the menu, and I read lobster Reuben.
Whew.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
And we're going to talk about more about Reuben's next class, because it's one of my favorite sandwiches. The Reuben sandwich is basically marble ride, pastrami, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, plenty of butter on both sides, put on the grill or on the griddle or the sandwich press until it's all nice and melty, delicious.
Oh man, that's probably one of my favorite hot sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're talking about hot sandwiches next week, but I have to bring this one up for experimentation. So you have the corned beef, the sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, which is pungent.
Yeah, yes.
The sauerkraut has already all the lactic acid, lactic fermentation happening in there.
Yeah.
The corned beef is already seasoned, boiled,
Yeah.
and you have the marble rye. All of those things work together, but somebody came up with that formula. They develop it. Now, I'm at the Fish House, and they're having a lobster Reuben, fish, cheese, which fish and cheese immediately in the Italian culture, you never put fish on cheese, ever. So right there, my DNA is fighting this sandwich. And Thousand Island dressing, and I look at the waiter and I go like, lobster Reuben, huh? He goes like, yeah, it sells a lot. I'm like, it sounds really, really wrong. Yes, it does, the waiter says, and I'm like, I'll have it.
All right.
Gotta have it.
So you got to go out of your comfort zone sometimes to try something great.
Well, you know what? It just sounded so wrong that I had to have it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is wrong, sounds completely wrong, and it's on the menu.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. So, just to start you off, a couple of fried oysters in there, fresh oysters, and then here comes the Reuben sandwich. Beautiful lobster stuff in there, melty Thousand Island dressing. Bite it. Guess what?
Delicious?
It was delicious.
Oh, man.
It mysteriously worked in all ways.
Oh, yeah.
You will never think that fish will work with sauerkraut and soup, but when you put it in that magical, they had a beautiful Texas toast slice of marble rye.
Oh, wow.
It was about that thick, and the bread, and they just lathered it with butter, clarified butter.
Oh, clarified butter. Of course.
Clarified butter.
Clarified butter.
Hashtag clarified butter.
98%.
And it was nicely toasted, grilled. It wasn't too hot that they burned the bread, because a lot of people make the mistake when they do the hot sobs that to really cook it on high heat, and it will really kind of, no, I don't want to say burn, but brown the outside too much, and you won't have the chance for the heat to penetrate the sandwich and work all the flavors inside. Yeah. I've seen that a lot in restaurants, that they're trying to get the sandwich out quick. The grill is put a really high heat. It will toast the bread on the outside, but inside the ingredients have not transformed yet. And that is, hopefully we'll put a change on that in the industry, because a good grilled sandwich, grilled cheese or anything, it takes at least 10 to 15 minutes to be ready. Mm-hmm. Gotta allow the heat to penetrate there. If you want your sandwich in 2 minutes, just get a cold sub.
Yeah.
It takes time for that heat to penetrate your grilled sandwich and create a nice crust on the outside. Be patient. If you want fast food, don't go to a good restaurant where they make good sandwiches.
Yeah. That's always something, because like you and I have both worked in restaurants, for a while. So you'll occasionally get a ticket that says "in a hurry" or something like that, where we're sort of like, "Oh, they're in a hurry."
That's when you get that ticket, and you go like, it goes to the end of the line.
Yep, into the line.
No. That doesn't
We don't
happen.
do that.
We don't do that in the industry. No, but I mean, that's why also we need to educate our staff. And I can't stand places that that don't educate the staff to let the customer know, listen, we can rush it, but it takes 15 minutes for this to cook. My God, it's time already. Let's go for a small break. We'll be right back with more sandwiches. Thank you.
Join Nash Community College Saturday, April 29th for the second annual Blue Fest. This day-long event includes the third annual Run for Knowledge, an inaugural disc golf tournament, and fun-filled events on Nash Community College's beautiful campus, including music, food, electric climb pole climb, craft beer and gourmet pizza sampling, hands-on activities, and more. See demonstrations of advanced manufacturing, beekeeping, first responders, culinary arts. Join us April 29th for a celebration of education and free family fun.
Did you know Nash Community College offers 12 degree programs entirely online? Are you interested in information technology? Explore information technology systems, network management, systems security, healthcare informatics, or web design and administration. These 2-year programs are only a few of the online associate degrees offered through Nash Online. Students receive the same quality instruction and resources as on-campus students without ever stepping foot on Nash's campus. Learn more about Nash Online today at online.nashcc.edu.
Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Food with Chef Carlo. I'm Isaac Anderson.
And I'm Chef Carlo. Okay, so it takes time to make your sandwich properly, just like hollandaise,
Oh yes, that's a very precise sauce that you have to get right. So.
which on a sandwich.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, but that again, that's hot stuff. And again, it's like making a hollandaise. You cannot make hollandaise in 30 seconds. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't make a perfect grilled cheese sandwich in 1 minute. It takes time and patience, and that's so important about training your staff. And that is one thing that the industry, we felt a lot. When we open a restaurant, or we run a restaurant, we put so much focus on the food and the quality of the food that we forget that there is a whole world of staff out there that has to be trained properly. One thing that really drives me insane, but wait, Chef Carlo, we're talking about subs. I know, even if you have a pizza joint or a sub joint, make the best product ever. I always tell my students, listen, there's nothing bad about having, listen, you didn't go fine dining, but you want to make a hot dog, you know what? Have the best hot dog in town with the best service, the best quality ingredients, and you will make money. Save high quality product, even if it is a hot dog. But you know what? Teach your people how it tastes. Like same as the sub. I've been to places that, you have a mortadella and bologna sandwich. How is it? I don't know. I never tasted it. I'm like,
Ooh, that's something that bothers me.
it's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Taste the sandwich.
If you're working in a restaurant, this gives a little message to anybody that works in a restaurant or anybody that's really interested in food
And
at all.
management in the restaurant, because this is a really hot topic every time I come to it. And sorry I'm divergent about subs, but go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, if you're serving something and you don't know how it tastes, you have no business serving it, because you need to know how everything tastes. You know me. I don't necessarily eat everything, but I have to try everything.
But you have to try
good.
everything,
Yes.
and that is something that really bugs me. Restaurant owners and operators that do not. I mean, the wait staff is your salespeople. They are there to sell your product. They are there to carry your mission statement of the restaurant. And then every time you turn at them and they go like, "Oh, I never tried it," and
So that just turn off because
it's like really. I mean, again, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because I'd rather have their honesty telling me that they have never tried it than them trying to make up a flavor profile for the item. And I'm sorry, I can smell when you are like, I was gonna say another word, but when you're like
FCC
making up stuff that it's not there. I'd rather you be honest with me and tell me, I'm sorry, I have never tried it before. And that really, I mean, I don't feel bad. I feel bad for the wait person because they have not been trained properly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you work, gotta try the food.
For sure.
And there's no excuse nowadays. In Mother Accounting, we can actually have all our staff taste the food, and we can put it on the books as an employee meal, an employee benefit. There's never waste. The money is never wasted when it goes on education, and it could be your own personal education or educating your staff. And even if you're in a sub place, try the sub.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is the new sub that we're gonna feature this week. Here, try it.
Yeah. So, like we've been talking about sandwiches for those that haven't been tuning in. And also, real quick, if you guys want to leave a comment on our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys say. We do read the comments, so we do appreciate it.
Yeah, and actually we have the Facebook page open right now, so any kind of questions, like somebody's asking, is a burrito a sandwich? Yeah, why not?
For sure.
It has a layer of tortilla, which is bread. In Southern California, Mexico, the tortilla is widely used. But let's go across the pond. When I mean across the pond, let's go back to the Middle East. Palestine, Lebanon, they use something similar to the pita bread. And they make what they call gyros or gyros.
Or gyros of around here.
Well, it's actually a gyro.
Yeah,
but,
gyro.
But gyros, that's fine. You know,
It's pronounced gyro.
As the paying customer, you're allowed to mispronounce it anytime you want.
That's right.
Any way you want.
They want that salmon gyro.
They have the money in their hand. They can call it a pink elephant. I'll give them a
It's
gyro.
like, thanks for the cash.
No problem. You want to call it a pink elephant? We'll give you the sandwich.
Yeah.
As long as you have money in hand.
Oh, for sure.
But let's say in Israel, they use lavash, which is the same concept as tortilla, is just cooked a little bit differently, and it's made into perfect square, which is one of my favorite breads to use for roll-up sandwiches. The advantage of the burrito is, as you fold the tortilla, you seal in the ingredients. It's a round piece of we can call it cooked dough because it's wheat cooked on a flat surface. Put all your ingredients in the center, wrap the sides, rolled, and it becomes this almost torpedo looking like deliciousness.
So a wrap is a sandwich. Yeah.
A wrap is a sandwich.
Yeah.
Now, a burrito is a burrito wrap?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's a cooked piece of dough. You wrap it up, and it can be a wrap.
I don't agree with you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I think, my opinion, wraps, the ends are open.
Oh.
Or usually a wrap, they fold the bottom and the top, and they leave the top so you can see the ingredients inside.
Okay.
But a wrap, I've seen also wraps fold in a burrito shape, and they call it a wrap.
Oh. I mean,
think,
either way.
Well, I truly think the honest difference between a burrito and a wrap is the burrito is usually hot.
Oh.
It has rice, beans, it has some kind of protein. A wrap is most of the times cold ingredients.
It's like with some sort of lettuce and like some sort of sauce in there, some moistening agent.
Moistening agent, some sauce. Now, there's nothing stopping you from taking a wrap minus the veggies, slather it in clarified butter, and put it in a sandwich press.
Oh, yes. Be pretty good.
There's nothing wrong of taking a burrito. Let's say you put rice, beef burrito, and just wrap it burrito style.
Yeah. So sorry, it looks like Hunter has left a huge comment. I'll go ahead and read it to you, and you can say.
Okay, shoot it.
All right. Do you think that with the idea of different cultures using a base and then a spread and toppings, do you think that sandwiches are almost an evolutionary food because it developed simultaneously across cultures in response to necessities? Or was it an idea that spread across cultures over time that just made eating easier? I think it's a topic that we touched on a little earlier. Like, is the food made out of necessity or food made out of ingenuity?
Both.
Oh.
Like John Montague, the Lord of the Sandwich. It was ingenuity and necessity. He needed to be sitting at the table gambling, and at the same time, he was hungry. So it was a need, I'm hungry, necessity, I need food now. Best way to deliver it, 2 pieces of bread.
Yep.
But tortillas and burritos, they all came afterwards. The concept of the sandwich was developed by John Montague. And then slowly developed, each culture took their own concept of a sandwich and put it into practice. Like, I know we're getting ahead, but let's say next week when we talk about hot sandwiches, we can also touch on the Venezuelan arepa, which is a bread made out of cornmeal. It's either deep fried or cooked on the flat top.
Yes.
Then it's sliced open and stuffed with anything you want. And when I mean anything you want,
Anything.
Anything you want. I've seen these things stuffed with, I live down there, and I've seen this thing stuffed with partridge eggs.
Oh, wow.
Soft-boiled partridge eggs and mayo and ketchup. They like it.
Yeah,
And
I
they
mean,
stuff
it's
it.
pretty good.
And you know what? It wasn't bad at all.
See the fat from the eggs, and you kind of get the richness in it.
Especially at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Oof, the best.
and maybe not in the best state. You know.
Oh, let's say at 3 o'clock in the morning, they were delicious.
Yeah, yes, of course.
But again, let's go back to cold sandwiches. Now, wraps, I love wraps because if you use a bread like lavash that is completely square, not only you can, instead of folding it burrito style, you can fold it as a roulade. You just roll it and then you can slice it and you get these nice, beautiful spirals. You can do the same with tortilla bread, but you're gonna get a lot of waste because the tortillas are usually round. So you're gonna try to stuff it, roll it. Usually you lose the ends, but if you use lavash bread, which is completely square, there is less waste of bread. And there's one thing that I really don't like is the wasting of food in the restaurant industry. There is a lot of food being wasted nowadays in supermarkets, in industry. I try to keep food waste to the minimum, not only because food costs, but it's also I don't know, I don't feel comfortable wasting food.
Yeah, and it's always a common joke with people that work in the restaurants, like the stuff that you got to get rid of. Oh, that's the special tomorrow, like.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Whenever you have to move product, is different. I mean, now there is, there's always the common joke: don't ever get a Monday fish special because the fish gets shipped on the restaurant either Wednesday or Thursday, gets processed.
That
put on
seafood
ice.
frittata on Monday is a seafood frittata.
I mean, can't blame the restaurant for trying to move the product.
No.
Now, there's a difference between putting the Monday fish special out when the fish is about to turn, or trying to get the fish that is like, not even the cat will eat it, and then cover it in layers of hot sauces just to
Fry it.
mask the flavor. No, that's completely different.
that's completely different.
There's nothing wrong. It's like, hey guys, that pork loin has been sitting there for 2 days. Because if you keep your protein properly stored, I mean, it's still, everything will develop bacteria, but if you keep it properly stored, it will stay fine. Then, it's like, hey guys, that pork loin has been sitting there for 2 days. Let's move it today. Let's make a special. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes. But I mean, a lot of times, like even with like the special mentality, as far as like when it's like, oh, we got to move stuff. Sometimes you can make a lot of greatness out of that. I know for a fact the Caesar dressing was made kind of like that. It's like it was the only things around at the time, and a bunch, and so it was at the Caesar Hotel, I believe, in Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was like they just found all the stuff, and it was like, I got some anchovies, I got this, I got that. Let's make a dressing, and it became popular.
Well, don't go too far away. Something made out of improvisation: chicken wings.
Yep.
Chicken wings, the Anchor Bar in New York, in what's the city next to Niagara Falls?
Don't ask me.
Hold on, we'll pull out the maps.
I'm a culinary major, not geology.
Yeah, but we should know it.
Geography, sorry.
This is part of our history.
Yeah.
The Anchor Bar in, not Rochester.
Ontario?
No, that's Canada.
Oh.
We're going far. I think it was Rochester, the city. But the proprietor, the lady, son came in, they were hungry. She only had a couple of chicken wings, never fried before, throw in the fryer, took butter and hot sauce, put it together. Buffalo sauce. And then it's exploded in popularity across the nation.
It's like you see it everywhere. I know we serve it a lot where I work, so.
Yeah, and no, you cannot make a chicken wing sandwich.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Unless it's boneless.
Oh, hey, that's a challenge. I like a challenge.
So back to your wrap. So the burrito, yes, is a sandwich itself. We just call it burrito. We associate it with Southwest culture, New Mexico. It's California. And it's not a bad way to carry your food. The good thing is the burrito, the same tortilla flour, you can stuff with rice, beans, and any kind of grilled protein or any savory protein. You can still stuff it with pure veggies.
Mm-hmm. Which I like, yeah.
Which you like.
I love the vegetables and hummus. So hummus is like my favorite moistening agent for like a cold sandwich, probably.
Well, look at that. Instead of using mayonnaise, you can use hummus.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's got a good amount of fat content. Like it's most likely incorporated with some sort of olive oil or.
But what else does it have?
It also has ground up chickpeas, garlic, salt, lemon juice.
And that's called flavor.
Yes, it is delicious, absolutely.
Flavor.
Yeah, my personal thing is I love blending avocados into it because avocados have a nice richness and the kind of fattiness to them, and it blends well with the chickpeas.
And avocados have excellent good fat.
Yes.
It has the good fat that your body needs to process certain vitamins.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong if you take your comments.
Oh, okay. They're called buffalo wings because of Buffalo, New York. Come on, chef. Buffalo. Hey, there you go, Hunter. Hunter, man, thanks. I was thinking that, but it's his show. But he's like,
well, you should have said it.
No.
What do you think? What do you think I drink coffee?
I love that. I love that Rochester sauce.
Rochester. Oh my God, we're going down in history. Buffalo chicken wings. Where do they come from? Rochester.
Rochester. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God, thank God we're not being graded on this one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We would have.
I was about to say if I was in your class right now, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Hunter. Oh my God, buffalo. How can we not think about that one?
All right.
Open face sandwiches. Also, I'm sorry, you're talking about chickpeas.
Yeah.
Chickpeas can be used instead of mayonnaise. Now, also for your bread for seasoning, you can use avocados. You can make what we call avocado butter, which is ripe avocados. Just whip them. Whip them really.
Whip it good.
Whipping good.
Come on, chef. Whip it. You must whip it. Whip it good.
And whip it good.
Yeah.
Whip it good. and use that one as your spread in your sandwich. Still, it has the avocado. It's delicious, and also season your avocado. Just don't whip the avocados like that and just spread them on your bread. Oh my God, we're running out of time already.
Yeah, I believe we have about 5 more minutes. So.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm like, we start talking about food, and it's like all of a sudden we diverse in many things.
Yeah.
Okay, open face sandwiches. Talk about wraps. We talk about burritos. Open face sandwiches. It's just any kind of sandwich minus 1 piece of bread.
Oh.
Or you can put those 2 sandwiches, and I love open face sandwiches, but they're more related to hot food because they usually top with some kind of sauce like hollandaise. There's nothing wrong with that.
The hollandaise is good.
Oh man,
Messes my stomach up, but it's great.
I know, but what about if you take bechamel? Oh, you can eat bechamel.
Yeah. Oh.
But I can.
I can eat it, but I'm just not gonna feel very good. I'll have
Oh.
a huge breakout.
Well,
But,
let me make you salivate a bit here, like toasted bread, ham and Swiss, and then a little bechamel on top, and then put on the salamander.
that sounds like a stomach ache and a breakout right there.
No,
Woo.
no, it sounds
It
fantastic.
actually sounds very nice, though. Yes, it actually does.
So, Phil Ronald Brown, the most popular, cold wrapped, and I love the cold wrap sandwiches because they can be cut, they can be presented beautifully, and the good thing about, I love cutting sandwiches because you can see the inside of it. Not only like our boccata on the top, and boccata is, I'm going to talk about boccatas in a moment if we still have time, otherwise we'll take it to the next class.
Yeah.
Next class. We're not in class, we're at a radio show.
Hey, this is a class for everyone watching for sure.
But open face sandwiches are regularly served as entrees, and they're usually hot because they will have some kind of hot sauce on top of it. And my favorite one is bechamel put on the salamander. The bechamel will become nice and bubbly. And if you top it up with some Gruyere cheese, you can top anything with bechamel sauce or Gruyere cheese on bread.
Oh, yeah.
You can even take plain bread, top it with bechamel, put some cheese on top of it, put on the salamander. I'm game.
Yeah. So that's creaminess and fat just go with pretty much everything, within reason, just like anything like that, you just smother it in some kind of sauce, it's going to be pretty good. So.
Then the good thing about a couple of tips, when you do finger sandwiches, the small sandwiches, I try to cut the crust away. It's not because it's just more presentation, and people love geometrical shapes, either square, rectangles, or triangles. Tea sandwiches, very popular in England or anywhere they served tea. And look at these beauties right there. And there's small sandwiches that are served with a tea service. In this one, actually I did something different. We have little mini French bread into it, but most likely you want to cut your canapé bread crustless and cut it in triangular shapes. But this is a perfect example of finger sandwiches. This is 1-bite portion sandwiches, which I love to prepare for parties or even when I'm entertaining people. It's a difference between if you go to an event and they give you a sub, then if they give you something this tiny, you can go really high end on this one. This one has chorizo, which is Spanish spicy sausage, mozzarella, tomato, and bib lettuce. It's really good, and when you make them bite size, it can actually use as an hors d'oeuvre. There's nothing wrong using a sandwich as an hors d'oeuvre, especially if you go high end of it.
Oh yeah, you could even make it like a little amuse-bouche before the meal, something like that.
Like an amuse-bouche, but I've had very success, especially in the summer when it's hot. You serve, instead of serving hot food as the beginning hors d'oeuvres, serve canapes, something nice and cold. That it's like serving gazpacho soup in the summer.
Yeah.
You would have served it in winter, but in the summer, a gazpacho soup, which is a tomato-based soup, it's actually really refreshing and really good for you.
Yeah, it's also very nice. I think we're pretty much out of time right now.
Pretty much out of time.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate everything.
So we're gonna wrap up today. We have 5 more minutes.
Hey, so you want to mention the what were you talking about?
Slow down and stop cutting the time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good, I was
sorry, baby. So the Spanish boccata. You want to talk about that?
Yes, so sandwiches take a different name in different countries. So in Spain, sandwiches, when you say the word sandwich, they imagine sandwich bread, just like this one, in any kind of filling. Now, in the Spaniard culture, boccatas, it's usually done in beautiful French bread. And this is actually really nice presented. This you can do for an event or even at the restaurant. I would suggest for the restaurant because once it gets to the table, the customer has to undo the hay that we use for that one, and it looks presentable, but it's not really practical. I will use this more for an event, a picnic, because not only looks pretty, it also helps you keep the sandwich together. The sandwich boccata is French bread. Spaniards usually use a mixture, which I love. It's called sobrasada, which is rendered pork fat and chorizo mixed together.
Oh wow, that actually sounds really good.
It's delicious. The first time I saw it, it's basically rendered pork fat. They take chorizo and they run it through the food processor, and then they toast the bread and they put that on top of the bread. That's for breakfast.
Oh wow, it's quite a way to start your day.
Well, you know what? They walk a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like here that we take the car everywhere. Over there, you grab the train, public transportation. And when I did my internship in Spain, I used to live about 20 minutes away from work. We always walk back and forth from work. And we had double shifts. So we used to walk in the morning, go to work, walk back, then 4 hours later, walk back to the restaurant, and then walk back home at night. It was actually fun. And Spaniards love their boccatas, and they use a really good bread. And again, the toppings in Spain is a little bit different because they have more jamón de jabugo, they have lomo embuchado, which is the pork loin that is slowly cured. They call it lomo embuchado, and then it's like almost like prosciutto, but from the pork loin. And of course, they have their own prosciutto, which for them they call it jabugo, and they use a lot of mozzarella, a lot of cured meats, and they use manchego cheese. We use here the American cheese. Of course, if we're gonna talk about cheeses, I mean, we get so many wonderful cheeses from Wisconsin and the surrounding areas. We get Havarti cheese. National production of cheeses has gone incredible high quality that it can actually be compared with the stuff that is made internationally.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's very nice. But this time, I think we actually are pretty much out of
Okay,
time.
now you're running me out of time.
Now I'm cutting you off, man. But,
now you're running me out of time. Okay, fine. So please join us next week. We're going to continue our journey through subs. We're going to do some demos, and we're going to eat on camera just for you. Present a couple of classics, and please join us again to this beautiful journey on subs. My name is Chef Carlo. This is Isaac, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.